What's up, Jeff?
What's up, man?
And what's going on, everybody out there? Good to be back. Welcome. This is the Rhythm Section, a Memphis music podcast, therhythmsectionpod.com. What is going on, everybody?
Happy New Year.
Yes, happy 2025.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Happy Thanksgiving. And let's get it going, man.
Yeah. We hope you guys all had an amazing 2024. My 2024 was actually spectacular. So if 2025 beats it, there's no telling where I'm going to be.
2024 was an interesting year for me, but
Yeah.
we're going to get to that because 2025 is starting on a positive note,
Absolutely.
which we're going to get into here. All right, y'all, welcome back. Me and Jeff are obviously ramping things back up, aren't we?
Jeff and I.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Great Scott!
Already fucking up the sounds. This was what I wanted to hit.
Shut up,
Anyways. Yeah, lots to talk about.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the studio we're in.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We're in a studio.
Yeah,
Not the same one,
Things have changed.
but a different one. We're going to talk about.
Because for a minute we thought we were going to do this shit in your kitchen.
Yes, we called it Cafe du Pod. Yeah. We want to talk about Radio Memphis. We're going to talk about Ric Hale.
Yes.
And the Christmas for the Kids. Jeff, as we record this on the 5th, just played Neshoba, so we want to recap that. But to start here, right out of the gate, we're going to tell you our launch date, when we're going to be back full force, and then start dissecting all of this. So Tuesday, February 11th.
Yes, sir.
Tuesday, not Wednesday.
Right.
And we're going to explain why. So yeah, Tuesday, February 11th, we'll be back full force with our intro and new interviews. Anyone that follows us, I've been trying to keep our socials active. You know, we've been pumping out the Sunday replay.
Yeah.
As usual, I added the Thursday, Throwback Thursday as another way to push some content out there, and then creating different reels from those posts and trying to stay active.
Yeah.
But we're coming up.
Yeah,
the 11th.
I've made a post here and there reminding people about us so that they wouldn't forget, but it's not been anything like normal when we're in full swing. And, and that's getting ready to start again. You guys will see more of me on social media. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. All right.
And we're going to start booking interviews for next week.
Yep.
You know, we got ourselves 5 Sundays, 4 to 5 Sundays to start ramping up our interviews. And we have a list, right, of people that were unfortunately cut last season.
Right. I'm reaching out to them first.
Yes. And so with that,
it's going to be a little different this time. We're not going to book out so far in advance.
Yeah.
We're going to try to keep it a little shorter so that we don't have that happen again where we have to necessarily tell people, sorry, we're going to have to do this later.
Correct.
So, yeah, we're going to do it a little differently. So, when I reach out to you to try to book you, it may be like, look, this is it. If you can't do it this Sunday, I'll have to get back to you.
Yeah, and do another Sunday.
Yeah.
And we'll try to fill that Sunday spot with somebody.
Yeah, because I'm not going to try to book something out in March.
And once in a while, here and there, you know, Jeff and I will need a Sunday off or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So we have to bank. We have to ramp up some interviews, and we'll do 2 on a Sunday.
Yep.
We're going to try to not do that as much because it is exhausting. One time, me and Jeff did 3 in one day.
That was brutal.
And by the third one, I can't remember who we were interviewing, but I feel bad for that person because our eyes were glazed over, just trying our best. Yeah. With all of that, too, typically when we come back, we announce our launch date and end of season date.
Right.
We don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to start rolling.
We're going to wing it.
And just keep going as long, until me and Jeff start feeling like, okay, we've probably put out a good solid chunk of episodes. Yeah. Maybe you need to take a few weeks off.
Right.
I will promise you this, barring any other catastrophes and business meltdowns, the next break will not be as long as the last one we just had.
That was quite a break.
Yeah, this is the first time you and I sit across from each other since October, mid-October.
It's been a while.
So that's a long-ass break.
Yep.
Let's explain why. So anyone that has been listening throughout knows that, we had some issues with the studio. And to anyone listening for the first time, we used to be in a different location.
Right.
Trying to make this short, but business was what it was. And I was coming up to the end of a lease. I had 2 rooms, really nice rooms in downtown Hernando off the square. Had to make a tough decision and let them go.
Yeah.
And with no idea what the future looked like. And at first, it was looking like the Rhythm Section podcast was going to be filmed in my dining room, Cafe du Pod.
Right.
And that was it. I host a podcast called The Real Hernando. I was going to take wireless mics and a couple cameras and interview them in their locations. And then that was it. It was kind of going to scrap any opportunity to have local clients.
Yeah.
It was like going back to online only in a way. And that was going to be it. It just so happens the timing where all of a sudden I give my notice to my old studio and I'm making all these decisions, and then business decides to finally start trickling back in.
Sure.
I'm like, awesome.
Right.
But damn, and I jumped the gun on the notice, and because I tried to pull it back and keep one of my 2 rooms.
Right.
And it was too late. And I was like, all right. Meanwhile, though, and this is where my friend Manny Zepada comes in. We are in his music school, Big Note music lessons.
Yeah.
So some backstory on this. I've been a long-time friend with Manny Zepada. Mm-hmm. He's a long-time musician in the Memphis area. Currently he does a lot of work with Roxy Love. Mm-hmm. He was the gentleman that got me into Gold Strike back when Gold Strike was doing the house band, revolving musician type deal. Now they're not doing that anymore. Right. They're going to just full band rotation, or, each night's different.
Right.
Right. And then randomly he starts telling me, hey, I have this idea. I'm going to start a music school. That was great. We started talking more and more about it. And I was like, I threw my hat in. I'm like, hey, if you ever need a bass instructor, I'm certainly not known to be a teacher, but I was like, hey, it's a side hustle.
Sure.
And then I'm like, wait a minute. Let me see his space.
Yeah.
And then we had coffee. I was like, hey, man, I got an idea. Would you like some of your rent chipped off right out of the gate?
Sure.
Would you like a little bit of relief on your lease? And pitched him the idea of using one of his rooms.
Right.
And here we are. That's the room we're in right now. And so thank you,
the
Manny.
only room in the facility with a stripper pole.
You can't see. It's off camera. That is Patreon only. Right, Donna?
Yeah.
So
it's heavy duty enough to hold you, Sean Few.
It's a beautiful area, like establishment he has up here. Yeah. It's still brand new. He's now definitely gone public with it. So bignotemusiclessons.com. You follow him on Facebook and Instagram. Go to his website. And let me give him a little push here. Group lessons, especially for the kids, like after school group lessons. He has a full room, a bigger room with multiple keyboards, and so you can do group lessons, one-on-one lessons for bass, guitar, drums, and keys. You can have a birthday party here. You can buy. He's going to be selling instruments. You can rent. There's a lot of different things he's got going on here.
Right.
BigNoteMusicLessons.com. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
Yeah, and he recently put out a video on YouTube showing you the facility.
Yep.
So look it up. Just look up Big Note Music Lessons.
He's really active on Facebook. He's really trying to push it out there. And then behind the scenes, I'm helping him, with the networking side of things and kind of breaking in, even though my business was struggling, it would have really struggled horribly if not for shaking hands and getting involved in the Hernando business, network, commerce scene. So I'm going to help him with that. Also helping him by making him a sponsor, sort of a sponsoring kind,
right.
He certainly didn't give me the room,
right?
But he didn't have to do this,
right?
And I'm very grateful that he decided this was a cool idea, and I want to throw him as much love as possible and promote his business. To explain more about the school, it's a big lobby, 4 rooms the size that we're sitting in right now. I know it's hard for y'all to tell what size room this is,
Right.
and then a big room for group. It's a nice place.
Yep.
We are in the what I call the Athletico building. If you're familiar with Hernando, we are on McInvale, across from the high school, and you'll see what looks like a one-story building. It's kind of deceiving. It doesn't look like there's a second level, but there is. So we're on the second level, and it's Athletico and Oxford Ortho. The first one of 2025.
You're the only, you need one I need to talk to.
My favorite soundbite. Love it.
So yeah, man, what do you think of this place, Jeff?
I love it. It's great because I thought I was going to be sitting in your kitchen.
Yeah.
So this is an upgrade.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't know how that would have worked.
I don't either.
It wouldn't have worked well.
It would have.
Space and, and I'm a stickler with backdrops, which takes space and creativity on how to.
You guys don't know how much he really cares about the lighting and everything being just right. I come in here and I'm like, just let me sit down and talk.
And that's all I want you to do.
but
show up.
But Derek, he puts a lot of time into making this look good.
Yeah, it's hard making Jeff look good.
Yeah.
There's not enough filters in the world for us. But yeah, here we are.
All
that's it. So thank you, Manny Zepada.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about, what sponsorship looks like right now. The lack of.
Yeah.
But this isn't about complaining about not having sponsors. No. We haven't done shit about trying to get anything.
No, we have not. We have taken time off. So we're just just letting you guys know that we don't have any, and we'd love to have some.
Because I just explained the studio situation, so that meant a lot of moving, tearing down, rebuilding, right into the holidays. It was just the timing, the whole thing. It was a long few months. For sure, but we shut it down. Me and Jeff just shut it down. Minus me again, pushing out these clips and the Sunday replay and some of the work that that it entails to push that out. That's it. That's all we've done. This is the first time me and Jeff even sit down and have a meeting on the future and what we want to do.
And look, when you spend as much time doing this as we do, we had a pretty long run last year, and you just get a little bit burnt out. And if we're burnt out, it's going to suck for the people that are watching.
Yeah.
So we took time off to recharge, and now look at us go.
That's right.
We're back.
And I'm certainly in a better headspace.
Yeah. For sure.
You witnessed it more than anyone.
Well, and look, that's
off camera, man. I was just miserable.
It's understandable, though, dude. I've always told you I had a business at one time, so I get it. I know the stress that goes along with this, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that this worked out. We're back, but if you care anything about trying to sponsor,
right. So back to the sponsor thing.
Hit us up. We'd love to.
And we will,
talk to you.
We will work, me and Jeff, on trying to figure out how to kind of bring in some dollars to help with this. So with that, you're probably wondering, well, what happened to the band sponsors? They all said, we're done with you assholes. No. We, me and Jeff, I can speak for, or Jeff and I, sorry.
There you go. Better.
Thank you.
Nice.
Shut up,
they've been so wonderful. All of them. Area 51, Fever Tree, Elevation Memphis, Seeing Red, formerly known as, and Sean Few, which meant formerly known as Lost 45s, 6 Feet Thunder. I hope I'm not missing anyone.
Oh, yeah, it could happen.
It could happen. Oh, Trip Turner.
Yes.
Because we did Jacob and Land Divided.
Yep.
Awesome. But we didn't feel good going back to that well.
Yeah.
Again, they stepped up so big for us, and
absolutely,
it's time to give them a break, and we are so grateful for you.
Yes.
But as you hear this, if you're a band owner or band leader,
Elevation.
Elevation Memphis.
I don't think you mentioned them.
I think I did.
Okay.
For good measure.
Yep.
Elevation Memphis, and of course we pushed Elevation Memphis, the Tina Turner Tribute Experience, along with them. If you're new to the show, we used to give their dates. and websites
Yep.
and little write-ups to kind of explain what they are, what kind of music they play. So if you're out there and you're in a band, own a band, lead a band,
Yep.
and you're like, ooh, interested, reach out. The Rhythm Section Pod 2022 at Gmail.
It truly is affordable. We understand bands aren't just loaded with money,
Right.
so we get it.
Mm-hmm.
But reach out to Derek; he handles that part of it, and see where it goes. You might decide that it's a really good thing for you to publish your dates.
Yeah, come on in, and absolutely still taking donations.
Yeah,
we still have our Venmo and Cash App at the Rhythm Section Pod. Those links are in all of our episode descriptions and social media descriptions, even throughout all the Sunday replay and Throwback Thursdays. All those posts, those links are there for you if you're interested. And so thank you to all the donators and all the donations that we did get last season. A lot of you stepped up.
and I think, do we still have some people doing the dollar thing on the? I think we do because I think somebody even mentioned to me that they were still sending $1.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
It's our OG
Yeah,
sponsors. We used to push this Patreon page a lot. Patreon is a paywall where you're supposed to put in exclusive content. For a fee per month, you get this content that you can't get publicly.
right,
But we did a $1 a month tip jar,
right.
and I think we make $10 a month.
Okay,
Seriously.
Okay.
It's like $10 a month. So to all of you that still have that dollar withdrawn every month, thank you.
we appreciate it. We really do. I mean,
And there's no premium content there. It was just like, well, let's make. That's why I called it a tip jar.
Right.
You know, so if you want to throw us $1 every month,
right. But now
reach
that we
out.
have this stripper pole, the premium content could get crazy.
That's like $100 a month stuff right there. Well, okay. So while we're talking sponsorships and all this stuff, the format was we would open up the show with an intro and then talk Sunday replay. And then it was a very long intro. And then we would break into the band sponsor break where it had this music.
Right.
I'm out of practice on the buttons.
Yeah, we
y'all.
are.
I mean, damn, it's just. So we're still gonna do that break, but that's when we're gonna talk about Sunday replay. We're gonna continue to push that.
Yeah.
It's a space for special announcements. We definitely want to keep our eyes open on benefits.
Yes.
And really push them when we see them and they come through the scene. And big note, music lessons.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, we're gonna be pushing Manny's school every week during that ad break. So just a little format update.
Yeah.
On that.
And there's always benefits, as we all know, in this community. Unfortunately, we'll have people who have medical bills, they need a benefit, or sometimes people pass away and their family needs a benefit. That sucks, but it's part of it. And then you have things like, and we'll talk more about this, but Ric Hale's Christmas for the Kids, that's an amazing benefit.
Michelle
Isom does a benefit
Kitchen
for the
and
Kitchen and the Cross.
The Cross.
Which is also amazing. So we try to stay on top of that stuff because that's what this whole community is about, supporting one another.
Yeah, and to those listening and watching, you know, the musicians out there that do a lot of these benefits,
yes,
the ones that put them on, let us know. Let us know.
Absolutely.
You can Facebook message me or Jeff.
Yep.
Easy to find us.
Because we don't catch everything.
No.
There may be something we don't even know about.
Right.
And we're happy to promote it.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Want to talk Radio Memphis now.
Yes.
And this is going to tie in to why we're dropping on Tuesday, February 11th.
Yes.
Man, Radio Memphis have become good friends of ours.
Yes.
Little backstory. So Mr. Jeff put it out there, as you do well. You're fearless on the social media. You just throw things out there,
Right.
and I love it. And you were just looking for contacts to get us some exposure.
Like, and I still am, by the way.
Get us on shows to promote ourselves and this, that. And Monica Summerfield from Radio Memphis, the morning show with Ric Hale, in the morning with Rick and Monica. We'll talk more about them.
Yeah.
Reached out to you. Says, hey, we'd love to have you on Radio Memphis. We're like, absolutely. Done deal. We did an interview. and live on air because it's live streamed. Rick kind of threw it out there and said, "Hey, I'd love to have your show on our station and Tuesday 7:30. Sound good?" Absolutely, sir.
Yes, please.
I mean, hello. And so it began. After a few weeks, then we started putting this show on Radio Memphis every Tuesday 7:30. With that, we used to publish on Wednesdays.
Right.
So it made it confusing.
It was a little clumsy. So
we would publish the interview from the prior week on Tuesdays and then a fresh one on Wednesday.
Right.
You and I had to do a unique intro just for Radio Memphis, which we still have to do until the next season starts. So it was a production timeline issue. So we ran it by, we were at Radio Memphis for the Fast Mothers.
Yes.
They performed
that was awesome.
A couple months ago before the holidays. And just talking with Rick, I'm like, hey.
Shout out to the Southern Heavyweight Champions of Rock and Roll.
Dude, I mean, they are the Fast Mothers, everybody. And I'm like, hey, Rick, when we ramp back up, we're going to publish on Tuesdays to fall in line with Radio Memphis. That just makes the most sense.
Absolutely.
You know? And then simultaneously now, when we do our show like we normally have, we have Radio Memphis and what I call our podcast audience, two different groups there.
Right.
All at once, you know. And thinking of this on the moment, what I forgot and what we'll be doing in our sponsor break is absolutely throwing love to Radio Memphis every week.
Yes.
You're going to hear about In the Morning with Rick and Monica real quick. And we're trying to keep the sponsor break or the ad break or whatever you want to call it not super long. We don't want to bore people to death.
Right.
We want to eventually, because after that break is when we start talking about the interview that everyone's fixing to hear. But no interview today, by the way.
No.
This is just me and Jeff, or Jeff and I. Fuck. Which one is it?
It's just us.
It's just us. But yeah, so throughout the off season, I've been pushing Sunday replay interviews to Radio Memphis and started over.
Right.
You know, so when I first started Sunday replay, it went to interview number 1.
Right.
Tim Dills. And then interview number 2, which was Pete Mandillo, and on and on and on and on. So, and it's still on that rotation. Then when I started pushing it to Radio Memphis, I started over for them.
Yeah.
So then Tim Dills was the first one I delivered to them. And when we broke, I had to continue to do quick little 5 to 10 minute intros, just solo, just from my desk, to push them that content. But now Jeff, you know, again, for the next few weeks, we still have to do the unique interview and intros for Radio Memphis. But February 11th, Tuesday, February 11th, new content. In the morning, Apple, Spotify. 6 p.m., our YouTube and Facebook. 7:30 p.m., Radio Memphis.
There you go.
So it's a full day.
Yep.
You know, you can catch us in many different ways.
Right.
You know? The Radio Memphis is not a situation where it archives. You can go back to it.
Right.
You got to catch it. You got to catch it as it's pre-recorded but streamed at a certain time, and that's really it.
That's it.
But if you miss it, then our YouTube's the best place to go.
Yeah.
Because this is also, you know, very much a visual podcast. I throw a lot of pictures up there, and Radio Memphis is audio only. Obviously, Apple, Spotify, audio only.
Right.
We love it when people digest this show on YouTube. That is our favorite and best.
I think that's the best way to catch it.
The best way to support us. Subscribe to that channel. It's my name. It's not the rhythm section.
Derek
McCod. But the link for our YouTube is always in all of our descriptions, you know, along with our Venmo and CashApp and, you know, all the different links. You can, it should be easy to find us.
Yeah.
You know, so thank you to Rick and Monica again. Yes. We absolutely look to book them for this show and have them in here for an interview.
Yep, they'll be on.
And learn more about them and bring them to our audience as well. And good people, man. Yeah. It's just been a cool relationship. It's
been awesome.
Very fun.
All right, next order of business. Ric Hale, Christmas for the Kids.
Yes.
Got to show this guy some love.
Dude.
The difference that he is making in families is huge. And I attended more of the events this year than I ever had before. We played one night, and then when I had my anniversary shindig, we did it at Hadley's, and that was the night they did the big auction for Christmas
huge auction.
And it was just really cool to see it all unfold, and the amount. I don't remember the amount of money that he said they raised, but it's significant.
It's over $40,000.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't see it either. What we don't see is all the work behind the scenes. You know,
I cannot imagine how much it takes to put on what he does there.
It is wild. It's a full month.
Yeah.
He's booking all the bands, and these are multi-band bills.
Right.
Saturday, they have, their thing, but then on a Sunday, they'll have a list of bands.
Yeah.
Different bands, trying to change it up.
And there are awesome musicians who help this thing too, like Sean Few. He'll have all of his bands on one Sunday, and there are other bands.
Bands.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing that everybody donates their time to help this thing.
I don't want to leave bands out by riffing on announcing all the different bands that were part of it.
Right.
But all the bands.
There's so many.
Everyone steps up, you know, and then original bands like Fever Tree and the Fast Mothers and
Anthony Corder came in town and did a thing.
Right.
And,
so there's all that booking, and then finding sponsors, and then these auctions where you get these beautiful looking baskets from a business that gives you all these free things. And that night that he had his big auction, that place was full of merchandise. And so he's going to find people to donate, and I can't imagine how much work it is.
Yep.
And just want to say thank you, Ric Hale. And it doesn't go unnoticed.
Right.
But what goes unnoticed is all the work that you must put into this shit.
Yep.
It must be a lot.
And we know that people like Rick who do this sort of thing, they're not looking for what we're doing right now, for a pat on the back or for somebody to say, hey, good job. We just feel like we need to say it.
Yeah.
Because those kind of guys like to be in the background and just do what they do, but it needs to be noticed.
And I promise you, not promise me. That's what I said.
You're the only you need one I need to talk to.
Okay.
We are human.
Yeah.
And a pat on the back does feel good.
Sure.
It really does. Whether they want to receive it or not, do it. Next time you see Rick, say, man, thank you for what you do every December, every Christmas. I don't know how long he's been doing this, but since we started this show, I mean, we're in our third year, right? And that's what really brought it to the forefront for me. So I don't know how many years he's been doing this, but it's every,
it's a lot of work.
It's consistent. So
also, just the night of the big auction, this makes me want to say this, thanks to the staff at Hadley's. Man, that place was packed, busy. I know that the bartenders and waitresses are covered up. And so thank you guys for what you do.
Absolutely.
During that time as well.
The whole venue, everything, everybody. And can't say enough. So, again, thank you, Rick.
Yes.
Appreciate everything you do. All right, now let's get a little current.
Yeah.
What we've always done on this show is me and Jeff will definitely talk about a gig we have.
Right.
Why not? It's a way to also throw some shine on a venue.
Yes.
Thank people for showing up.
Yep.
And you, as we record this on the 5th, last night, your debut, Gen X's debut show at Neshoba.
And it was awesome.
Yes.
And I wanted to mention this, not necessarily for my band's benefit. We certainly, my guys, the whole band is great, and we had a great time.
It gives us an opportunity to kind of tell a story about a venue on the inside, what it's like to play there.
Yes. And this venue, if you're a local musician, you need to play here, there. And if you like going out to see live music, you need to go to this venue. They get it. It is done well. I dealt with a guy by the name of Greg Jackson. He is the guy that I emailed back and forth with to get us booked there. Never have I had someone be so attentive to responding to emails and giving me all the information that I needed to know where to go and what to do and how they do things. We walked in there confident that we knew exactly where to go, how to get in the venue, how to load in, and it was just great.
Yeah.
They have a sound guy there. His name is Jonathan, and I don't know his last name. Fantastic to work with.
You don't remember my name?
Sorry. And man, he showed up, had everything going. We did a sound check of about half a song, about 45 minutes prior to the show, and that was it. And then
Kevin
it was
Koss, your amazing singer, was telling me that you guys had a sort of a designated server too. One of the servers was tasked.
That's right.
Among everything else, also you're the one for the band. Take care of the band.
And I did not get his name, and so I apologize for that. But he did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Danny Day came out and took photos. Gotta give Danny a shout out. You know what he does for bands. When he does his thing, he'll blast it. So it'll just be a matter of time before you guys see photographs from the show from him.
It's such a well lit stage too. It's big LED screen in the back, much like Lafayette's. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Food's good. Service is great.
The food is excellent.
Yeah.
This is just so good.
Yeah.
And thank you to everyone who came out to see us. I have to think it was a major success for us as a band. The place was packed, and they have a built-in crowd. I can't take credit for the place being slammed, but there were a lot of people who specifically came to see us.
Yeah.
Kevin Greenberg's family is awesome supporters of us. Steve Taylor's family supports us. My wife has come to more gigs since I got in this band than she's ever been to in her life. So that says something. I guess we're okay, because she certainly would rather sit at home, but she enjoys coming to see us.
She's been, I've noticed she's come out a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, she's probably wanting to get out of the house.
But I think the only band wife, so to speak, that wasn't there was Kevin Koss's wife. I don't know why you didn't make it, Marnie. We'll discuss this later.
Thanks.
But,
Appreciate it. I was there.
Yeah, you came. LaShawn came.
Man. Yeah.
So it was awesome, man. We had a great night, and hopefully we'll be back.
Yeah. Oh, me too. I hope, it was awesome. I kind of feel like I want to, because I think it's a great idea. Me personally, this is my opinion, but the way they handle reservations, I think it's great.
Yep.
And so I want to take the opportunity to maybe educate
preach
those. We're all familiar with cover charges, and that can be a polarizing thing for some. Like, they just don't want to, they like, you know, when Hadley's went from free to 5 and then now it's up to 10, you know, people are like, what the hell, you know? But it pays the band, y'all.
Right.
I mean, if you want to show up and support local music, there's going to be a cover charge. You know, Lafayette's and Neil's have done it forever, which is awesome. But the way Neshoba does it, there's no cover.
Right.
But if you want to reserve a seat, that's where you pay.
Yeah.
And I don't know all of the different price points and
it's on their website.
Yeah, so you have to go to their website, and which I don't have in front of me.
Right.
But I know there's different tiers because of where you're sitting and the size of the table, but they also have these circular booths
that are very
that's
nice.
for 6 to 8 people.
Right.
So if you have a 6-person, this is kind of what I heard. Don't take all of this, you know, take this with a grain of salt if it's not completely correct, but you get a party of 6, you buy, in essence, for the night, one of those big booths at $15 a person.
Something like that.
So it's like $90.
Right.
What is it, 15, 30, 45, $90 for the table. But it's $15 a person. You're going to pay a cover anyway or any other place.
Right.
But also what you get is then you get a free appetizer and free soft drinks. Not liquor, not beer, but sodas, lemonades, iced teas, whatever, and an appetizer. And I think if you do 8, you get 2 appetizers, which is a cool little incentive.
Yep.
I love that. Here's why I really love it.
Yep. And I know where you're going. I love this too.
And I'm not trying to throw shade on anyone.
No, we're strictly speaking good about this venue.
Right. Other places, you call and reserve a table for dinner, but also because you're going to go see a show.
Right.
Then what happens is if it's a hot band, these other venues, I'm not going to mention names, but other venues will fill up.
Right.
So you call, sorry, we have no tables left.
Right. Because they're all booked.
Right.
Yeah.
So then it's like, well, I guess I'm not going.
Right.
But then the people that do go, we've seen it, you show up, a lot of empty tables.
Yeah, because the people that reserved them didn't show.
And it's like, man, you know, people were, in essence, turned at the door.
Right.
I mean, people could still go and stand.
Yeah, if they want to come in.
But I'm sure there's people that call and say, nah, if I can't get a table,
I'm not going.
I'm going to try. I'll try to catch them next time.
And let me tell you, from the band's point of view, man, that sucks because we don't want to see a bunch of empty tables. Right. We want a full venue. Mm-hmm. The venue wants a full venue. Mm-hmm. They're not making any money if people don't show up.
Right.
So yeah, it's
when you see a name on a table, you know it's been reserved.
Right.
And then you see no one ever sit there.
Right.
You know, so go back to Noshoba.
Right.
If you're reserving a table with a fee,
you have an incentive to show up.
You're showing up.
Right.
And I will say, if you want to go and see a band and get those really good seats up by the stage, get online.
Yeah.
Because they sell out.
Yep.
That place is always packed.
Mm-hmm.
Those booths are always taken.
Yep.
And then you got other tables over there that comes with different costs. Again, I don't know all the breakdowns and all the different tiers, but I promise you, people are booking and going.
Yeah.
So just look at it that way. You don't pay at the door, but you're paying for your seat like buying a ticket.
Right. I've been to that venue now 4 or 5 times to see other bands as well as play there now. Mm-hmm. Every time I've been in there, it's been slammed.
Yeah.
Packed.
Mm-hmm.
So people have an incentive to show up if they're paying $10 or $15 for their seat.
Yeah. And it's worth it. It's a beautiful establishment. The service is good. You will enjoy it, you know. So here's some massive love to Noshoba.
Yes.
I'll invoice you later.
I got one more thing that I want to throw out here that came to me.
Go for it.
Just kind of a, what do you call it? Detour.
Sure.
I guess. My buddy Jason Ware.
Okay.
Everybody's heard us talk about him on this program before. His daughter, Jaden, just recently had some pretty serious surgery. I don't know what the technical term is. He told me, but I can't pronounce it or spell it or anything. But she's was born with some sort of a hip issue.
Okay.
It was causing her a lot of pain. So New Year's Eve, she had surgery. Mm-hmm. She's doing great. They're back home now. But just shout out to Jaden. You know, Susan and I love you like you're one of our own. Mm-hmm. So, and thanks to everyone who saw his posts on Facebook for your prayers and for your get well soons, because you know she's a young buck. And
how old is she?
I'm guessing, but 23.
Yeah, early 20s.
You know,
was it a full hip replacement?
No, she had pins put in and some other things done, but it's like I think he said 6 weeks of absolutely no weight bearing. So she's basically in a wheelchair for 6 weeks. And then after that, it's like 6 months
physical
of
therapy,
rehab and all that. So she's got a long way to go, but the doctors told him that the surgery went perfect, just exactly like they had expected, and she should fully recover. So
good deal.
Shout out to my buddies in the warehouse.
Which I've met. I have not met their children. They have 2.
They do.
Because they also have a son, right?
Yep.
But I have met Jason and his wonderful wife,
Jennifer.
Thank you for saving me on that.
And then Jaden and Jake.
Okay.
Jake's a golfer.
Yes, I've seen that.
He loves golf. So.
But yeah, awesome people. And Jason and his Jennifer have always been nice to me when I see him. And they
doesn't get any better.
They appreciate the show. Yeah. They're always supportive. So yeah, they live down in Oxford now.
They
right?
do.
Yeah.
They moved down there. Jason was chasing his dream job, which he got. And he works for Ole Miss now.
Well, good for him.
So, yeah, he loves it.
Good for him.
Yeah.
But, you know, you still, you left DeSoto County, Jason. Yeah. I mean, man, but I still love you.
Yeah. All right.
Wow, man.
Are we done?
Dang, this has been fun.
Dang.
All the blemishes.
Yeah.
And, got to give a shout out to... Then, of course, our friend.
Hey, yo.
We love y'all. And we've had fun during the off season hanging out with all our friends. You know, I have been hibernating, admittedly.
Yeah,
I have not been getting out.
We also we don't have a soundbite for them, but we got a shout out to our buddies in Fever Tree.
Oh,
We got something for
Beaver
them?
tree.
What do we got? That was not my idea, guys. They have not been out nearly enough playing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the hell's going on, but they need to get out and do some shows.
Yeah.
They've taken the holidays off.
What's funny about
I'm sure John Peterson is deer hunting. So
anyways. But speaking of hibernating, I kind of laughed last night. Another cool thing about playing, you may have mentioned this, I'm sorry if I missed it, but the night set for the band is 9 to 11:30.
yeah, I did not mention that.
Which is really cool.
Now,
right?
I've heard that has actually kind of fluctuated a little bit, so it hasn't historically been the exact same time.
Yeah.
But we were fortunate
Yeah.
to get that slot because it was wonderful.
I'm sitting there and like, damn, I might make it to the end of the show.
Yeah.
Started at 9. By 9:45 after eating, I was like, I'm ready to
Gotta go home.
This is so bad.
Hey.
So we hung for that first set.
Yeah.
Bullshitted with y'all on your set break, which is 15 minutes. And bam, bam. So you do an hour, 15-minute break.
And then an hour.
And then an hour.
Yeah.
In and out. Oh, and talk about the drum situation for all the drummers out there.
Well, yeah, if you're a drummer, you definitely want to play this venue. Last night, when I loaded out, I beat the singer out of that place, and that is not normal.
Yeah.
Kevin Koss took more time to get out of there than I did. I think the only thing I went in and used of my own was my pedal, my kick pedal.
And sticks.
And my stick bag.
Yeah, literally.
I played their cymbals, their snare, their kit, everything.
Obviously, you can change out what
if you want. You can change out anything you want. But
I'm sure, typical snare, cymbals, throne kick.
Yeah.
Right? And that's usually...
Their throne was amazing.
Okay.
They got one of the airlift thrones, so it's very cushy. It did really...
Especially, for a person of your size.
Right. It cradles the coccyx. So...
Oh, my God. Or... Holy shit. You just said coccyx. I even said it wrong. Coccyx?
Coccyx.
Coccyx.
No.
Sure.
We're done.
We're done.
You're the only. Then you need one I need to talk to.
Oh, it's good to be back.
It's been awesome doing this, Jeff. After we're done this, then we're going to do a Radio Memphis intro.
Yep. Then we're going to go eat Mexican.
Yes, then we're going to eat, I think Guadalajara, right? That's our go-to here in Hernando. It's solid. They got the great, thin, crispy chips.
Yep.
Great queso. And their fajita meat is amazing.
All right.
There you go. That's how I judge a good Mexican spot.
They'll bring you a margarita in a fishbowl.
That's right. I'm out of practice, Jeff, so, eventually we'll have more format in front of us. But look, therhythmsectionpod.com.
Yeah.
All right. Go check it out. There you can find our YouTube, our Apple, our Spotify, our Facebook, our Instagram, full archive of every episode we've ever pushed out.
Yep.
It's all there. Follow us. We would love to engage with you. Our Facebook page has broke 1.6K,
nice.
Which is great.
Nice.
I'm happy with that. Constantly getting new followers, but I think once we start ramping back up, hopefully we get a tick up on that. We appreciate you following. Our Instagram still needs some work.
Yeah.
I
have had nothing to do with the Instagram.
Yeah. Well, I know you're not on there.
No.
So I can never tag you for those posts.
I just don't do Instagram.
But basically, everything that you see on Facebook is on Instagram.
Gotcha.
We'll just push it out there.
Nice.
I've maybe in my back of my mind thought of starting a TikTok, which would just repurpose the stuff we already put out there.
Right.
Because TikTok does have a great algorithm.
It really is the place to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge.
Yeah. But the easiest way to support us is go to our YouTube and hit subscribe.
And send us money.
There you go. That too. Thank you, Venmo, CashApp at the Rhythm Section Pod.
Right.
Big thank you to Manny Zepada. And big note, music lessons. You're going to be hearing about Manny and his awesome school every week.
Yeah.
Radio Memphis, Rick and Monica. We're so excited to continue this partnership with y'all. 2025. Again, thanks and love to Ric Hale for all you do. And that's it, man. Let's move forward.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. We can't wait to come back and be with y'all in a few weeks. Take care, y'all.